I'm John Omar, and I'm here with Lynn Hampton, also known as Hamptonio, a local radio personality, activist, and comedian, and also has a day job here in the city of Cleveland, Ohio. We're going to talk about Black History Month and why we think it should be changed in June. Mr. Hampton, could you tell us a little bit about your organization?
Well, like I said, my name is Lynn Hampton. Some know me as Hamptonio. I have a local talk show here in Cleveland, Ohio. It's a business empowerment networking show where we talk about holistic health. We talk about businesses and increasing their vision on businesses, how to do business in China, Africa, what's going on in Panama, and things of that nature. So I tend to try to bring things to the table that normally our people, or African American people, are not privy to. What I did, I brought a historic event here in Cleveland in February during Black History Month, where I brought some of our top scholars, Dr. Finch, Ashwar Kwesi, Dr. Wesley Muhammad, and Wayne Chandler, all at Cleveland State to do a Black History program in February. And at that time, you know,
I was there and it was good.
Yes, yeah, doing all the things that were going on and worrying about the weather and things of that nature. You know, I feel the Creator placed upon me to think about this particular movement because I know about all the things that I went through in making this happen and worrying about the weather conditions. And then and the crazy thing that happened that Brother Kwesi coming out of Dallas, he happened to be snowed in Dallas. In February. It was very unusual. I was worried about the weather that we was going to have here. But actually, you know, so he arrived 3 hours before the lecture on Saturday, and it was a sold-out lecture on Saturday.
Yeah, I remember.
So I was saying to myself, if I'm an event planner, promoter of these events, other people have to be going through the same thing.
Right.
So the Creator placed upon me to announce, at that particular time, we announced the movement of changing Black History Month to June.
Well, now you call your I have to call it a movement.
Mm-hmm.
You call your movement the Carter G. Woodson Project.
Yes.
Carter G. Woodson, as a lot of people know, was the founder of Black History Week and then finally Black History Month.
And it was even Negro History.
It was Negro History Week,
yeah.
So what is the primary mission of the Carter G. Woodson Project?
Yeah. Well, the primary mission is to get the word out of the movement and market this to our people. We decided to use the Carter G. Woodson name as our committee project name because it's to show, you know, no disrespect to what Carter G. Woodson has done, because we should be eternally grateful that somebody stood up and wanted to make a placement for African American people in this American surroundings and culture, you know what I'm saying? Because at that time, you know, I'm sure self-esteem and things like that was a problem. So he stood up and said, hey, you know, you can't have American culture or history without Black history, you know. So that's worth, you know, the whole Negro History Week. So by doing this, you know, we, you know, wanted to pattern ourselves and to add on to what Dr. Carter G. Woodson did, and by naming ourselves the project. So, and again, its primary purpose is to work with the normally celebrated Black History Month in June, and then moving it, February, and then moving it to June, you know. And so
that's in my opinion, it's a very practical idea.
Mm-hmm.
But there are some people who would question why you would want to move it to June for various reasons, and some even get pretty hostile.
Yeah, and absolutely, you know, just like, you know, with our President Barack Obama when he spoke on change, you know, sometimes change is not good for people, you know, and this, you know, they worried about it, and it sometimes makes them feel a little insecure about the change. But sometimes some change is good change, you know what I mean?
People are afraid of change.
Afraid of change, absolutely, you know. So some would say that, but you have to go and you have to look back. And I don't know about the rest of the country, but in the Midwest, you know, by talking to people, you have to ask them that question. What did they do that was so memorable in February?
How was February selected in the first place by Mr. Woodson?
Well, from the research and talking to some of the Woodson family, it was selected because of Abraham Lincoln's birthday and Frederick Douglass' birthday.
Well, you are aware, aren't you, that Abraham Lincoln once said that if he could keep the Union together without freeing the slaves, he would do so.
Right.
Well, I don't know how many people are aware of that.
Yeah, they may not be aware of that. Yeah. But Dr. Woodson did, dealt with what he was, the information was privy to him at that particular time.
Right.
So we want to look at it as that Dr. Woodson is opening the door and we just walking through it. You see, because sometimes we get caught up into, the culture, and some would say, is it disrespecting the elders and things of that nature? But if Carter G. Woodson, which we sure he was true to his belief system, and he felt it was necessary to have a Negro History Week, and he knew the purpose of that. I don't think he would be that grounded in really headstrong on it's being stuck in February, especially with everything that's going on in these days.
Yeah, well, what you're saying is that his ego wasn't tied up.
I don't think his ego would be tied in. Right. The point is, he just wanted to get it done.
He wanted to get it done.
Now, someone come on with a add on to that's something that could be better than and build on what he's done. I don't think he would have an ego problem and have a problem with saying that. Okay, we started here. That's why you have seeds. Seeds start and then you grow on and you build on it. You know what I'm trying to say? So I think we just building on what Dr. Woodson has set forth for us, because if you look across the country, you got to look across the country. Half of this country, as far as where a greater number of African Americans are, are dealing with the winter and cold. We are not, we're tropical people.
Yes.
We like being outdoors.
Yes.
And one of the things that struck me real deep about making this movement, if you get into culture, if you're into African culture, Egyptology and things of the nature like I am, it's a curse on any culture where your elders cannot participate in your programs in the Midwest. If they have some kind of ailment or disability that don't allow them easy accessibility to come out to the programs and the ceremonies, then the Creator won't bless you for anything like that. The elders is an important part of all cultures.
Oh, sometimes I slip on the ice.
Yeah,
I'm not yet an elder.
Yeah, right.
In everybody's life.
Absolutely.
Maybe in some cameraman's eyes I am.
Absolutely. So, for number one, it's a curse. So, you won't get any blessings of that. And I think, as far as our kids is concerned, African Americans is in need of so many things right now.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? The time of what's going on right now and surrounding us, the time frame, we need everything that we can get on our favor to help us. You know what I mean? And now
I'm beginning to understand what you're saying now.
Yeah, because now when you have these Afrocentric programs taking place in June, now these young folks can come out and see these programs on how they're giving so much homage to our ancestry and to our elders. And so maybe they'll start respecting these elders and giving up seats and opening the doors for elders, because they can see the integral part that the elders play in our community. How we're all connected, right? Yeah, that's what our knowledge is. It's a wealth of knowledge right in the elders, because I think the young folks really don't take time now to sit down and have those one-on-one conversations like you used to do with Big Mama and Grandmama back in the day.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And they schooled you all the way. I think it's a big separation. But going back to the February thing and being cold, is that most people in the Midwest tell me, I ask them, what did they do? We were just in the house. See, when you have any type of ceremony that is ethnic, that's a time to galvanize, to energize, to make you feel good about who you are. You see what I'm saying?
By ethnic, you mean a specific ethnicity.
Right. That's
a
absolutely.
specific group of people.
A specific group of people.
Bonded by history, shared history.
Right. Same culture, race, or whatever, bloodline, all that.
Well, what are some of the programs you intend to do when you kick this thing off in June?
Absolutely. That's a good question. See, what we want to do, we can make this movement.
Right.
And make this hoopla, and then just go to June and say, hey, we're doing this in June, and maybe bring a couple of lectures in and call it a day. But like I said again, the climate of what's going on right now with the globe and especially with our people, we got to give them some meat on the bones. It's time to start giving our people some meat on the bones.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? You know, with all these feel-good speeches, what a lot of folks talk about, feeling good and energizing, just like, you know, people at one time talked about the Million Man Mark. We was feeling good, but we didn't necessarily come home in our communities and do any great works at that. So we got to start, you know, putting some meat on the bones, and that is some of the problems that a lot of people are having with the church these days. You know, we're feeling good talking, but you know, folks want to know, okay, how can I better myself? How can I make my economic status better?
Well, speaking of communities, are you getting any backlash, or are you getting any? From the Carter G. Woodson family itself.
You know, it's only natural that we would reach out to the Carter G. Woodson family. You know, out of respect. You know what I mean? And I have been in contact with some of the members on both sides of the fence, because there's some.
You say both sides
of ethnicity. You got the Carter G. Woodson family. I mean, the Woodson families is from the white side and from the black side.
And have you gotten support from them, or are they?
Absolutely, I got support from them, because
they're behind it.
Yeah, they're behind this movement. You know, I couldn't say that every single one of them, but the ones that been organizing the family reunions and things of that nature. Yeah, you know, I laid out the program, and because some of them is in the Midwest, and they don't even get together in February and do anything because it's too cold outside.
Have you got any feedback, or how do you think the schools will participate in that normal celebration in February?
Well, you know, that was some of the pushback and some of the things that I was worried about, because people was worrying about how, you know, well, you're going to take it out of the schools. I don't know how it is across the country, but the primary motive in school is this testing situation. You know what I'm saying? And in a sense, February is actually getting in the way of their testing. You know, a lot of the African American teachers, you know, is adamant and want to teach something as far as Black history to the kids in school. So, but the administration, they think in tests. They test scores driven, test scores. You know what I'm saying? And you see, now we are having our teachers become historians. That's not their forte. They're not historians, and that's why you find out a lot of times that some of the kids is learning the same thing over and over and over again. We have a rich culture. Our culture goes deep. It goes off the shore of America, you know what I'm saying, and into Africa as well. So a lot of them we just talk about slavery, Martin Luther King, Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, and things of that nature, you know. But our culture is much deeper than that, much richer than that, you know. So now we're causing our teachers become historians. Leave that to someone that's their business and that's their due. We have a lot of Afrocentric teachers out here that can use the play and the jobs and the working and the workshops to talk to these kids. You got all these folks doing these rites of passage programs. You got, I believe it's the brother out in New York, I believe they have the curriculum, the Afrocentric, I forgot his name.
I forget his
name. Yeah, I forgot his name. But he's working well, got developed Afrocentric curriculum and things like that. So, you know, you got a lot of people who do drum making, artwork. Let them teach it. And then normally what tends to happen, you know, I don't know how it is around the country, but at the end of May, nothing is going on in school. So you can use that last week or that first week in June to do all your assemblies and things of that nature as far as school is concerned.
Well, there's one very important question that I should have asked right off the bat.
Okay.
And why do you feel it's necessary to change it, and how do you think it will affect our community?
Well, you know, it's necessary, like I was saying before, when you do these programs, you know, you galvanize and you energize the people to make them feel good about themselves. And that kind of like takes them on the rest of their journey, maybe hopefully for the next few months, years, or whatever it takes, you know. And I think it's necessary because we're secluded. We're separated, you know, we're at home watching Piece of the Action, Let's Do It Again, and watching snowflakes come down. And that's not, you know, giving us what we need, you know, and because black folks is in desperate need, you know, more than anybody of knowing who they are and what they're about, you know. And I feel that's, you know,
okay, we're going
that's
to have to take a break right now.
And
and then there'll be one more question I ask when we come back.
Okay.
I'm John Omar. I'm speaking with Lynn Hampton. We're here in Cleveland, Ohio.